it's Amy here, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing my top 10 books I must read in 2021, and these are all books that have been on my shelf for probably over 5 years or more, some of them nearer 10 years. So my plan with these is if I haven't read them by the end of 2021, then I'm going to be sitting down with myself and actually working out if I want them on my shelves anymore, because if they've been there that long, I would say potentially I don't really want to read them anymore. Let's just jump straight into the books. First we have Rivers of London by Ben Aronovich. This one, I believe, is about someone who lives and works as a detective, but is kind of a detective of magical things. So there is an element of magical, mystical stuff happening here. I've seen lots of people rave about this one. I don't know why I've not picked it up. I actually have multiple books in this series, so I think it's either a trilogy or more. But I definitely have at least 3 books. I'm not sure how I ended up with all 3 at once. Potentially someone bought them as a little gift for me. But yeah, this is number 1. Next up we have Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. Now this one, I went through a phase a few years ago. If you're on my YouTube a few years ago, you'll know that I read a lot of books to do with World War II. Now this is one of those books, and I just don't know if I'm really interested in that topic anymore. I feel like I might have run myself to the ground with World War II type books, and so this is one I will be interested, because it's one that I picked up on so many people's recommendations for books around World War II, and I know that it is quite highly acclaimed, so I don't want to just bin it off and not read it. I do want to give it a go, see if I like it. I haven't read anything based in World War II in quite a long time, so maybe this one will kind of spark that interest again, or maybe it just will have to go and it won't be one that I enjoy, so we'll just have to see. Next up we have Atonement by Ian McEwan, with this awful cover. I'm not sure why I picked up the movie cover edition. I very rarely do that. It must have been in a charity shop. I've just read the back and it actually really piqued my interest, so I'm actually looking forward to reading this one in 2021. This one, I believe, centres around 3 people and an event that happens over the course of one day, and then the aftermath of that and how that has affected them and their lives moving forward into the future. So it's kind of a deep dive into how something very small can affect things for years and years to come. Have you read this one? Would you recommend? Next up is actually one that I put in my must-read books of 2017, and clearly I didn't read it in 2017, and that is Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. Now, something that I have noticed with this pile of books that I have is that a lot of them are written by men, and I don't know what that says about me. I don't know whether that is just a sign that I have lent towards reading female writers over the last few years, so this is why these have just kind of lingered on my shelf, because I haven't wanted to pick up stuff written by men. I don't know why. Maybe it's all something subconscious that I've not even realised that I've been doing, but yeah, 6 out of the 10 books that I've got here are written by men, so interesting. I have tried to read this one in the past. I think I read a few pages of the beginning and just put it back down again. I've heard so many really good things about this one as well, so I think it is going to be one potentially that I enjoy. I just need to give it a chance. I have read books by David Mitchell before and enjoyed them, so I'm not worried too much about the actual writing. Again, kind of like the last book, this one is an intertwining of 6 people's lives, and it kind of follows them all and how they all affect each other. Definitely looking forward to giving it another chance. Next up we have The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield. So I've actually read a book from her recently. I listened to the audiobook of Once Upon a River. I mentioned it in a recent wrap-up if you want to see that. So I have no doubt in my mind that I will enjoy this one. I have heard very good things from people that I trust the opinion of and have similar taste to. From the back it appears that this is a kind of family-centred mystery novel, like a family with secrets, that kind of thing, which I've really been enjoying recently and I think is a really nice thing to read in the winter time, so maybe I'll be picking this one up in January. Next up we have And the Mountains Echoed by Khalid Hosseini. This one I literally just had to read the back of because I didn't even know what it was about. I think potentially this was one someone bought for me as a gift and it just got put on the shelf. I didn't really know much about it. So from the cover you can guess it's a story about a brother and sister who are trying not to be separated. It appears it's set in the desert. It looks like it has themes of kind of poverty and struggle and the kind of closeness and relationship of this brother and sister. So I, again, have heard really good things about this one. I have also seen stuff about The Kite Runner. Yeah, The Kite Runner and A Thousand Splendid Suns is by the same author, and I think they are quite highly acclaimed books, so we'll see if this one is a good one. Have you read anything from this author before? Would you recommend any of their books? Let me know in below. Next up we have The Diviners by Libba Bray. This one is huge. I think potentially this might be a reason why I haven't picked it up before. It's also been on my shelf for ages, probably at least 7 years. This one appears to be set in New York in 1926. It follows a character named Evie, and I believe there is kind of supernatural stuff going on, murders are mentioned on the back, so I'm interested to see where this one goes, especially as it is so long. I know this is one that was very popular on BookTube back in the day, so I'm definitely interested to see where it takes me. Next we have A Spot of Bother by Mark Haddon. I've had this on my shelf since I read The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, which was a very, very long time ago. I'd say I was probably in my early teens when I read that book, so over 10 years ago I would say. And this book I picked up because I was like, great, I love that one. I'll pick up another book from this man, and then I never read it. I don't know if I even read what the book was about before I bought it. I was just like, great, another book by that author, I'll pick it up. And then it just sat on my shelf forever. Yeah, see, I'm reading the back and it says, at 57, George is settling down to a comfortable retirement. Now, that doesn't sound like a book I would enjoy. I've just read the full blurb and it sounds like there's a lot going on in this book. A lot of characters, it seems like a bit of a family saga type thing, and I'm going to be interested to see if I enjoy this one at all. It might be one that ends up being DNF'd, we'll have to see. We're on to the final two books. So the next one we have Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke, and I believe this picture is from like the TV adaptation that was made of it, so not a huge fan of this cover, but we'll have to see. So this one is set in 1806 and it follows these two men, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, and they appear to be some kind of magicians at a time when magic has kind of died down and they are kind of doing these amazing things. It sounds like one of them kind of goes off on his own and then the other one kind of challenges him. That's what I've got from the back anyway. Neil Gaiman has been quoted on the front here saying, unquestionably the finest English novel of the fantastic written in the last 70 years. So that's pretty cool. I like Neil Gaiman, so we'll have to see if I enjoy this one. It is, again, I've chosen some hefty books here, but we'll have to see how I go. The final book I have to show you is The Age of Miracles by Karen Thompson Walker. Now I believe this is a dystopian type thing. It says here, what if our 24-hour day grew longer, first in minutes, then in hours, until day became night and night became day? What effect would this slowing have on our world? On the birds in the sky, the whales in the sea, the astronauts in space, and on a family and a young girl who is already coping with the normal disasters of everyday life. That sounds really cool. I'm actually really excited about that one, and it's also not too long. Out of all of them, this is definitely one that I'm keen to pick up sooner rather than later. So there we go, those are all the books that I must read in 2021. Have you read any of these? I'd love to hear your thoughts of them down below. Do you have any books that you want to set yourself to read in 2021? I would also love to hear that. As always, I will leave links to everything I've mentioned today down below. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and I will see you soon. Bye!